Travis T-Bone Turner joins us now on Mike Tomano's Wild and Free. T-Bone, of course, part of the Bone Collector Show on the Outdoor Channel. He's also one of the most respected bow hunters and competitive archers in the field. Welcome to the program, T-Bone.
Hey, guys. How's everybody doing? How you doing today, Mike?
I'm doing great. You know what? Yesterday I was bow fishing in some of the backwaters here off the Kankakee River, and I shot a big carp and found a guy that really wanted to bring it home. So that's always fun when you're bow fishing. You know, you like to be able to give away some of the rough fish that maybe you don't want to bring home.
Exactly. It's funny you say that because short of stabbing a whitetail, bow fishing is my favorite. We got to do it all night long last Thursday night, so kind of got a small fix last week.
It's a good time. Now, what do you bow fish?
Well, down here we got carp, we got common carp, and then we have a lot of gar, and then you have some grass carp. That's the main things, but sometimes when you go North Georgia and over in Alabama, you get some of the buffalo, and then naturally I like to go to the Midwest, right around Paducah, Kentucky, and shoot the Asian carp, and then certainly the big head carp.
Yeah, those Asian carp are like missile torpedoes, aren't they?
Yeah, oh, I know it. You don't hit too many of them, but you sure do get plenty of shots.
Right. Well, bow fishing, it's one of my favorite pastimes as well. Now, you caught the archery bug at an early age. It's become a bit of an obsession. Tell us about that, how you originally got started.
Well, actually, I'd always hunted. My dad had, started me hunting when I was, 5, 6, 7 years old. Squirrel hunted and deer hunted, gun hunted some with him. And then he had bought me a bow for good grades, but he didn't know what he was buying. He bought me a bow that was too big for me and too many pounds. So I had kind of got, I had a bad taste in my mouth because I couldn't really use the bow that he had bought me. So I was kind of negative on thinking on bows. And then just out of high school, some buddies of mine had talked me into getting a bow because they were going to be bow hunting that year, and I was like, I don't know about bow hunting or not. So anyway, midsummer I bought a bow. We bought a bow on a Wednesday, and while we were there was a guy introducing us all to 3D archery. Said he had a range down the road and wanted us all to come out. And none of us had ever shot before, and we thought, heck, that'd be something different than just fishing on the weekends. We'll go try that during the summer before season. So I'd owned a bow like 4 or 5 days. Went out there and they had a novice class, a beginning class. There was like 30-something people in there, and plus all my buddies was in the class, and we shot the class and had a great time and turned our scores in, and just absolutely, I don't know if you call it a luck or fate or what happened, but I happened to win. Only been shooting a bow for 5 days, and I won the whole thing. So
wow.
Needless to say, I was hooked like a fish ever since, and that was way back in 1987. So, yeah, I'm absolutely, even to this day, I can't get enough of archery. Just absolutely love it.
Absolutely natural. Now, did you ever shoot any traditional archery?
Yeah, I'm a fan of, everybody, thinks that you need to be split up or, hey, I'm a compounder, but I'm not that way. If it's flinging an arrow or if it's a legal season, I'm for it. So, no, I've taken 5 deer with a traditional equipment, and certainly around the house here, I shoot traditional quite a lot. And actually, the bow that I use for bow fishing is a recurve.
Yeah, and I know that you're an endorser for Hoyt, and they make some incredible recurve bows now. Yeah, well, actually, just about every Olympics in the past, since I've been drawing air, has been one with pretty much a Hoyt bow. So, yeah, they got the recurve thing down, and then they just transferred that over into the hunting recurve, so they make some really good recurves, too. But there's a lot of good custom recurves made out there too, so and really nice craftsmanship too. Well, I've shot all kinds of bows as well since I was a young lad, and that's many years ago. I started with my Bear fiberglass bow that I found under the Christmas tree one fateful morning, and ever since then I've loved them all. You're right, long bows, recurves, compounds. The more the merrier as far as I'm concerned. Now you've won numerous champion competitions. Do you still hit the tournament circuit? I miss it. From basically 1988 to about 2001, I didn't miss a tournament. I was shooting, 20 or 30 local tournaments a year, and then naturally traveling all over the country shooting the circuit. And I was fortunate enough to win in 1991. I won the World Championships, and then naturally I was competed in the professional level and placed pretty high. Different years and stuff like that. Maybe it was just because other guys had bad days, but a win's a win. I'll take them. But was fortunate enough to win a couple of state championships, and I really do miss traveling and miss competing. I do, even to this day. I still, probably
5 or 6, 7 times a year when time allows. I'll shoot some local tournaments. And my son now, he's 5.5, and he's got the bug, so he goes with me, and he's got his little recurve, and we have a good time out there. He really likes shooting them.
Excellent. We're talking with Travis T-Bone Turner from Bone Collectors on the Outdoor Channel. You can go to bonecollectors.com, catch up on their adventures. Also, check out tboneoutdoors.com. You're a great TV personality. So much fun is had on the Bone Collector Show. You guys just have a blast. But your shooting expertise is really what you're known for, and the inside. You know, a lot of guys seek out your advice. Guys like Jeff Foxworthy, Bill Jordan even, other celebrity shooters, some of the athletes who come into the fold. What are some basic tips for improvement that T-Bone might give archers, whether you're a novice just getting started or you're a veteran? What are some basic tips that maybe you think people overlook?
Well, I mean, there's the list could be very long, but one of the things that I would tell folks is make sure that you befriend a really good bow shop in your area. Get to know the guy, the guy that has a wealth of knowledge, a trusted wealth of knowledge, and he's going to be your friend. You're going to learn a lot from them, and make sure that you visit a lot of your clubs or join an archery club, because hanging out at them, there's a lot of veterans out there. You can pick up so much from those guys. As far as just a personal, really evaluate your draw length. I think there's so many people, the most common mistake I see is people have too long of a draw length.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also, which, causes problems, especially when you're, it's okay, you can get by with it when you're in the yard, but then transferring that over into tree stand and getting in awkward positions, it's kind of hard to maintain that long draw length. So rather, it's a little better to be on the short side than it is the long side. And then also make sure you get a good release, and make sure that the release actually fits you good so that you're executing a good shot. Those are a couple of different things. Make sure your anchor's right, your peep sight height is right. All these things may seem like splitting hairs, but you add up a bunch of split hairs, and you then, before you know it, you cut your groups in half.
Right, and that's a great idea about the draw length on a compound, especially.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a 28.5-inch draw, and my compound is a 28-inch draw because I still had the loop on the string, and I like to have that bow arm, my left arm, I like to have it a little bit relaxed, instead of that locked elbow thing. I like to be a little bit relaxed because it allows me to really hone in on my anchor point. One of the tips that I give to people, and I watch you shoot, and it's not so much your anchor, but it's when you release where that hand goes.
You want to be pulling, so many people have a static shot, where they actually punch the trigger. Whereas the way I describe a shot should be executed is you should kind of pull through the shot, so that when you're on the back wall, you should have the forces of your arms and stuff like, pushing and pulling. Basically, you won't see any movement, but those muscles are working in that direction. I kind of compare it to, let's say that you and I are in a tug-of-war contest. If somebody walked up and watched us tug-of-warring, you're pulling all you got, I'm pulling all I got, but there's no movement. But if someone was to cut that rope, we'd both tumble over backwards. And that's the way you want the shot with a compound bow, recurve bow, or anything. You want to pull into that shot. Basically, imagine you've got a ball between your shoulder blades, and you're trying to mash that ball so that when the shot does break, and it is a surprise shot, that your arms, basically break and you pull through the shot rather than collapsing, or I call it getting weenie armed on a shot.
Yeah, weenie armed, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Do you feel there's been too much emphasis placed on high-scoring trophies because you are a great bow hunter, and a lot of the TV shows are focused on a lot of the big trophies. You guys are more focused on the camaraderie that goes on in a camp, and I love that. But do you think in the industry and in the world of outdoor sports, there's too much emphasis placed on high-scoring trophies that kind of keeps it away from the grasp of the common folks?
Well, I'm sure that there are some. There's 300 and something outdoor shows between all 4 different networks that has outdoor programs. So yeah, you're going to get some egos out there. I'm not going to call names or anything like that. And naturally, it's just a given. That's our approach to it. It's a given that we all want to kill a 200-incher. But am I going to let a big old fat slick head, or am I going to let a mature 130-inch buck walk on my quest for a 200-incher? Absolutely not. Hopefully I've got quite a few more years to hunt, and hopefully a 200-incher will come by. But am I not going to be satisfied if I don't get a 200-incher? Heck no.
Right.
Hunting is about the experience. Hunting is about the camaraderie, like you say. The cherry on top is the harvest of the animal. Mm-hmm. So, am I going to not be satisfied if I don't get a 200-incher? Heck no. I'm striving for that. No different than I sure would have loved to when I played baseball. I sure would have loved to have a grand slam. Does that mean I didn't have a good time? No, but I didn't get that grand slam. So that's a given that we all want that. But the entertaining part of it is we have fun in camp, and that we enjoy shooting, whether it's does, mature 130s. Heck yeah, man! I like to see the arrow fly. So that piles make me happy.
Watching the Bone Collector shows, we're talking about the camaraderie there. It really comes across how deep your friendships are with the guys that you're on there with. How did you meet Michael Waddell and Nick and the rest of the folks on the show?
Well, with Michael, we all got our start through Realtree, to be honest with you. I think Realtree is the one that kind of banded us all together, and we're still very close with Realtree now. But I met Michael. I had opened up my archery and outdoor store in 1994, only about 30 miles from where Michael grew up and lived. And I met him through that, going to certain tournaments and then just being in the industry. Well, Michael and David Blanton and the guys started coming to my store and, using me to, I was real flattered that they wanted me to do their setups on their bows. And that kind of started the relationship with Realtree. And then through that, actually, we in the late 90s, we were hunting out in Wyoming at 7J Outfitters, which is where Nick was a guide and an outfitter out there for them. And then David noticed that he ran a good camera and asked him to come on as a freelance cameraman for Realtree. So he was a cameraman for 8 or 9 years. And then through that, we got to share camps with Nick and seen that, hey, we're all about the same age. We all got the same personality. And we just, we never step on each other's toes. I mean, even to this day, it's we're as tight as ever. I can't never. We have some squabbles and stuff, but nothing that's ever lasted more than 10 minutes. But we're tight as a tick, that's for sure. I tell people we're down like 4 flats.
There you go. So now one of the things we focus here on the show is introducing newcomers to the magical world of the great outdoors. And what advice do you have for people wanting to introduce their kids to hunting, fishing, and shooting? You can. There's several different things. It depends on their age, but if they're real young, so many people get them too big of a bow. Get them a lightweight bow. Just let them watch the arrow fly. Let them bust a balloon. Make sure that they have a good time with it. Even shooting a BB gun, it's something that I've seen that's working really well with my son as far as shooting a gun. He's not big enough to really shoot like a shotgun or anything yet, but at 5, I've got him shooting his BB gun, and we go down to our lake, and I throw objects out into the lake so that when he misses, he still sees a splash. Right. So every time, he's getting a reward every time he's shooting, man, and he's really loving that. We'll shoot 200 BBs at a time. And also, just sitting out there, once you get that first harvest under your belt, whether it's a 50-pound doe or whatever, there's very few people that aren't hooked just absolutely like a fish. Yeah, it's an amazing world out there. And
It is. Well, we stated in our creed, today's society was built on the culture of a hunter, and I believe that hunting is within us, and all you got to do is just, open up a door and release that out, and then we're off to the races. That person's a hunter.
You're right, and then it catches hold of you, and it becomes your entire life. I have our mutual friend Ted Nugent's on the program quite often, and he's helped me produce this program and put it on the air. He hunts more than anybody I've ever met in my life. It's amazing how many days a year he hunts. Oh yeah, and believe me, maybe at some point in my life I'll be able to do the exact same thing. I see you doing it, man. I see it. Well, you're very busy on the Outdoor Channel. What's coming up for T-Bone fans on the Outdoor Channel and beyond?
Well, this time of year, all we're doing is basically we're just doing appearances. We do a lot of banquets, whether it be NWTF, Whitetails Unlimited. We do a lot of banquets. Actually, we was up in your area. Something that is, I guess, for your Chicago listeners and everything, our administrative office is right outside of Chicago. They just got moved there in August. All of our production and everything is still here in Georgia, but in Ottawa, Illinois, which is about not too far from Chicago, we will have a outlet store coming in the future so that you will have a place to stop in right there on Interstate 80 in Ottawa, and you can see all the licensed products that Bone Collectors has, celebrate a lot of the trophies we have, a lot of the videos, It's just going to be a place to stop in and just kind of get you a catch-up or a showroom, so to speak, about bone collector stuff. So that should be exciting for you guys up there.
Yeah.
And us, too.
And I'll be glad to have you guys be advertisers on Wild and Free.
Hey, there we go. Double dip there a little bit.
That's a great place to hunt, too, out near the Starved Rock Forest.
Actually, we two of the properties we actually hunt aboard of the Starved Rock. So we hunted there last year.
Beautiful.
Got
stuff.
our butts kicked, but nonetheless, there is a lot of good trophies out there.
I remember that episode. Your tree stand was near a picnic table, if I remember on that person. Yeah, it was fun.
That's exactly right. Yeah, this year we actually we're editing the show now from where we hunted up there this last year. It should air about the third week of July, where we hunted right there in Ottawa,
well, Travis
County.
Travis T-Bone Turner with us on Wild and Free. And Travis, continued success to you, brother. And thanks for all you do. You've really turned a lot of people on to the great outdoors, and we appreciate that.
Oh man, it's my pleasure. I mean, we don't take it for granted. We're grateful for the platform that we have, and man, we appreciate all the support that folks give us. And believe me, I mean, it's not a hard job to do, man. It's a joy to let the feet hit the ground every morning.
You're right. TBoneOutdoors.com and BoneCollectors.com. Thank you, Travis T-Bone Turner. I'm Mike Tomano's Wild and Free.
Thank you, Mike.